Welcome in week 4. We're already at the we're entering the midway point of the regular season. Kind of crazy that we're already here. But league play is opening up. We're going to start seeing some South Shore on South Shore action, some Metro South on Metro South action in these coming weeks. And with that, we bring you the week 4 fantasy draft. So we had a good week last week. We record these typically on Mondays, and as of this recording, we have all but 2 players' stats from the games. And one of them I have a clear line to, just kind of waiting on them going up. So that's pretty huge. That is far better than we typically do. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. And with that, I will also, it opens us up so we can give a little recap. So your top scorer on the week was Owen McHugh. Brennan, you were at that game, 5 total touchdowns. He was an absolute beast for Milton this week.
It was unbelievable. He didn't really throw that many passes. I only had him throwing 10 attempts in the game. He connected on 7 of them, and I think at least 4 or 5 were Hail Mary shots at the end zone that ended up in touchdowns. And he also ran for another. So, yeah, he had quite a banner night, I will say.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous stat line. 7 for 10 with 4 passing touchdowns. Every other pass, more than every other pass he threw, found the end zone. 215 yards on 7 attempts. So you're averaging 30 yards per catch or per throw.
I felt myself having to record every play because it just felt like every time he tossed one up, it was going to be a highlight catch for a touchdown.
Nick Friel was also the top at the running back position. He was yours as well, Brennan. 142 yards on the ground, 3 TDs. He also caught a touchdown. Big week for Nick Friel. This was the first week where everybody had somebody that went off, which was exciting. Johnny, for you, it was the right method. You went Jake Falco first overall last week, and the weather conditions being what they were, and Plymouth North's defense giving Pembroke what they did, the Titans decided to go away from the passing game. And you were wise to say, listen, I'm going to back it up with Jack Tassoni and make sure that no matter what, whatever Pembroke does offensively, I get it. Tassoni had 30.3 points on the week, 143 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, 2 2-point conversions. And he didn't even have the highest scoring day of any Pembroke running back. So great pick there, but a huge day for Jack Tassoni.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's how you do it. You hedge your bets, and I knew it too. That's one of those things where it's like they weren't both going to go off,
yeah,
unless he was throwing to Tassoni every play. But happy Tassoni, and they played well. So
they did play well. They look good. There's a lot of that's another team where it feels like a lot of weapons can come from. On my side of things, I had Tyler Lennox, who put up 32.7 at quarterback, and Gabe Rodriguez put up 33.1. We had that game. I will be thinking about that Quincy game until the end of the season. I mean, one of the most fun games we've ever gotten to do. Just a total shootout in the first half, and then game-winning score with 2.9 left, and Rodriguez had 3 touchdowns in that game. So a lot of fun, a lot of big scorers this week. Brendan, you did take it home with 91 points on the week just 91 points alone from McHugh and Friel. Still waiting on a couple of your guys. But it's going to go in reverse order this week. So Johnny will be first overall. I will be second overall. And Brennan will be third overall, and going forward like that for the draft. So without further ado, let's get right to it. Johnny, you are on the clock, first overall pick.
Yeah, I mean, I got to get a win eventually here. So I'm going to start with quarterback. I'm going to go with a Hawk. I'm going to go with Henry Hasselbeck from Severian. Haven't picked him yet. He looked pretty good. I mean, King Philip played the best game I think they could have against Severian, and ultimately knocked off Severian at KP. But I just think I think Severian's going to rebound against Lawrence this week. And I think, even in the loss, Hasselbeck looked good throwing to Montero. So he's got his weapons. So I'm going to ride him.
Yeah, I think they're going to be trying to, really make a statement coming off of a tough loss against KP. And that was good to see. I mean, obviously us being that being our alma mater, it wasn't the best result for us. But that game seems like it lived up to its billing. Maybe not the offensive spectacle that people thought it might be, but defensively, I mean, that was a grinded out game and an absolute, one of the game of the weekend candidates for sure. Second overall pick. I'm also going to go quarterback first, just because looking over, kind of the options on the week, I zeroed in on a guy that I really liked, and I wanted to make sure that I got him. So I'm going to go with Jacob Briggs from Middleborough. Kind of a similar situation. Tough loss for Middleborough, their first of the season. Came on the road to a good Taunton team, a much bigger Taunton team, a higher division Taunton team. And now Middleborough gets into the start of their South Shore League Sullivan Division slate. They're going to have East Bridgewater on the road this week. Jacob Briggs was still great in the loss against Taunton, so I'll look for him to try to help his team rebound this week against EB. All right, Brennan.
Well, I'm going to start with the running back. I haven't picked this kid all year long. I've been trying to avoid keeping that trend going. I'm going to actually take Cassius Johnson this week going up against Hanover. I think that's going to be an incredible game. Arguably the two best teams in the Patriot League Fisher division. Now, we had Quincy come into our studios at WATD this past week and undefeated, and they seem to think they have a case for being the best team, and I'm curious to see how that develops over the course of the year. But I think this is going to be a real showdown this week, and Cassius Johnson's going to be at the forefront of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And quick plug while we're at it, that game is going to be right on our airwaves, 95.9 WATD. We will have that game for you Friday night, 6:45 pregame show, 7 o'clock. We take you right into the game. Very excited. Hanover is a great venue. I always enjoy it. And we're in a booth. It seems like this. I don't want to, knock on wood, but it seems like we're going to get in a booth this Friday night. So I'm excited for that. Should be a great game. We'll have it for you. And yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people at the beginning of the season thought this is the game that probably decides the Patriot League Fisher division. But with just how deep the Fisher division looks like right now, there might be some other teams that have something to say about it. All right, Johnny, round 2, kick us off.
I'm looking running back. Honestly, I had the name pulled up and then I just completely blacked out. Oh, yes. I'm going to go. I went against this guy, or not against him, but I picked wrong week 1. I'm hoping to pick right. I'm going to go Jacob Coolstring from Rockland. I feel pretty good about their matchup against Norwell this week. It's really just a matter of if I pick correctly, and I didn't last time, but I'm going to ride with Coolstring. So hopefully he can get me to the promised land this week.
He was on my list for sure. Kind of a wonder we made it to week 4 without him getting picked, but he went off this past week. I think he's poised to continue doing that. I mean, he has been the big play machine for Rockland. So I think it's a great pick to kick off round 2, Johnny. All right, that'll bring it to me. I'm going to go to the wide receiver realm, and they've got a bit of a tough matchup this week, no doubt about it. But at the same time, it should be a great game. I'm going into the Bay State Conference. I'm taking Owen McHugh's favorite target, and I'm going with Mike Fulton. He had an unbelievable game, and you can speak to that, Brennan. A good performance this past week. You had a couple touchdowns, I believe, in that game, and they're going to need him against a pretty stout Walpole team. So I think that's going to be one of those games we keep an eye on. Maybe this week as a kind of game of the week.
Well, yeah, that was going to be my next pick because this guy sold me after making a couple of touchdown grabs. So now I've got to shuffle things around here. I honestly could pick from anyone on that list. It feels like Owen McHugh can hit any of them in traffic for some reason or another. But, I'm just going to go with the well, I can't do that. I was looking at JC Ham, but they don't have a game this week. I just realized Quincy has a bye. Yes. So now you got to go further down the list. I don't know. I'm going to go with Colin Quinlan from Duxbury, just because it's an emergency pick here, and it's the first name I'm looking at.
Oh boy! Well, don't sell Colin Quinlan short. He is a big time target.
Well, actually, are they playing this week?
Colin Quinlan because
are they playing this week? Yeah, I don't think they have a game either.
They're not playing this
week. They have a game either. Oh my goodness, this is a toughie here. You know what? I'll go Nate Caldwell from North Quincy going up against Abington. I think that's going to be a good game too.
All right. I like it. Yeah, that one should be a fun one. I'm excited to see. Again, we talked about this. This is the time of the year that Abington's really going to need to get themselves rolling. And, they don't have a lot of room for error after an 0-2 start. They kind of got back on the saddle against Sandwich. And so, how is that defense going to respond to a North Quincy team that has a lot of weapons? Johnny, round 3, pick 1.
I am going to go the wide receiver route. I am going to go with Cameron Dobson from Hingham. They're matching up league play with Whitman Hanson this week. And I hope they go to him, to be short and sweet with it.
I like it. They're flying under the radar as one of the teams to watch. That defense is legit, which is not to take anything away from what they've done offensively, but 3-0, grinded out a win against Weymouth this past week. And we said it. I mean, they've got a schedule that favors them right now. And I think that they could really piece together a few wins here and get themselves in a position to take a run at Duxbury for a league title. All right, my second round pick. I had a lot of guys this week at running back that I was toying with. I think I'm gonna go with a guy that I saw for the first time last week in person. I think he's gonna have be a big piece of Plymouth North's game this week, and I'm going with Isaac Uva. He showed flashes against Pembroke in a tough matchup for them. I think Plymouth North kind of got behind the 8 ball on that game and had to pass a lot more than maybe they would have wanted to. I think you go into a game against Silver Lake looking to establish the run a little bit more, and Isaac's going to be a big piece of that. So, Isaac Uva. All right, Brendan.
I'm going to go outside the box here with my quarterback pick this week. I like this Middleborough East Bridgewater game. I'm going to go with Jacob Briggs. I think that could just be a nice South Shore League battle.
That's a week. It's the second week in a row in the exact same spot. Jacob Briggs went off the board, second overall.
Sorry.
That's fine. Doesn't bother me. Just pen and paper it, my friend.
Hey, like I said, I had to adjust. I didn't want to take Will Big or Matt Fester or any of these guys that I feel like keep coming off the board every week. Owen McHugh seems to come off the board. And you know what? This is the first time I noticed Jacob Briggs, but you mentioned it. I'm looking at it right now. Last week, same spot. So,
Yeah.
Oops. Oh, well.
So do you
Oh,
have?
Brennan, Quinn picked it.
No, I know. I'm looking.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'm looking
yeah.
around now. That was a total screw up on my part. You know who's going to have to who's going to have to step up this week is probably Jackson Belson at Situate going up against Pembroke. I think that's a good pick here.
I like that as well. He was on my short list. I had 3 guys circled. I guess I won't give away the one that didn't get picked this week.
No, you can say.
Well, yeah, I guess I get it. So to me, I was looking at Jackson Belson, Jacob Briggs, who I took, and Connor Zakowski. So just a quick shout out to Connor Zakowski because we're going to see him Thursday night. We're going to have Mansfield and Canton on WBMS. That's our Thursday night football matchup. So he was one of those other guys I was looking at. But I like Jackson Belson a lot, Brendan. You said it. I mean, we just said it for Abington. This is go time for Situate, right? 0-2 start. You're in a league play now. If you want to have a say in what happens, who decides the Fisher division, you gotta come out firing this week. So I like it, Jackson Belson. All right, Johnny, round 4.
In 4, I'm going to round out my running backs. I'm gonna go with Archie's running back, Marcus Thurston. I like that they're playing Bishop Fee, and I think that's a pretty good matchup for the Bishops of Archie's. And I'm looking for him to show me some stuff here in week 4.
Okay, so I will say I'm not confident that he is active. I was looking at him this week as well.
That is brutal. That is absolutely brutal.
I think maybe it's worth a dice roll, but I know that he had a broken wrist preseason and has not played yet this year.
Can I throw an asterisk on that? Whoever starts for Archie's, can I take them? Is that how it works, or do I have to go someone else? I'll go somebody else.
Somebody else.
I reserve the right to pick him the second.
Yes, the first week that we see he is active, and then he plays the following week. I will allow you to pencil him in.
Okay, let's see. I am going to stick in the running back room, and I am going to go with John Dickinson from Silver Lake. And they are playing, I believe they're home against Plymouth North. So, I mean, hey, I'm happy to have him in the running back room. If Marcus can't go, it's the next man up.
I like the pick for you. Not, no shade at Plymouth North, but Pembroke went straight ahead pretty much all second half. they just ran, right up the middle between the tackles, and it paid off big time. John Dickinson's a physical back. I like him to have a big game this week. All right, I'm gonna round out my wide receiver room, and I guess I'm gonna double dip here. Actually, yeah, I'm in between two, so let me, I guess, refrain from saying that. I am gonna double dip. And I'm gonna go with Anthony Ferrante. I've got two of the senior captains from Plymouth North. I'm just banking on them having a big game. So I guess it's going to be by land or air, we're going to try to kind of pull the Johnny move from last week. The problem is you can't do it with quarterback at Plymouth North because they switch like mid-drive. They're like in and out, swapping guys in play to play.
Pick the right one. Pick the one who's there at the end.
I guess, yeah. But I like that at the wide receiver position, Anthony Ferrante, big target, physical guy, great hands. So I'm going to go with him. All right, Brendan, your 4th round pick.
I'm looking at this whole Randolph matchup here because it's a Super Bowl rematch, as we all know. Has anyone picked Austin Bongo yet?
Nobody has picked Austin Bongo yet.
I'm going to take a receiver. I'm going to go Austin Bongo here because I already took John Giannibus earlier this year, and I feel like I have to shuffle it up here. So I'm going to go with a receiver in that rematch because Hall's going to be looking for revenge.
All right, I like it. That was where I was looking as well for who I would go with potentially there, but I was looking at a different Hall receiver actually. So he is still yet to be drafted week 4.
Oh, it would be a shame if I picked him up in my last receiver here in the last round.
It would be. Well, with that, Johnny, 5th round pick.
No, I'll let you have him. I'll go.
No, I don't need him. I'm full in the wide receiver room.
Oh, okay. Then I'll make it interesting. We'll see who they target more. I'll go Tyler Sordillo.
I like it. Double down on the Pirates. Yeah, simple as that. It's going to be who's getting more catches. We've got.
I need them to throw the ball.
Yeah, we got T. Higgins and Jamar Chase coming off the board back to back. Who's getting it for Hull? All right, my 5th round pick, my final pick. I got to round out the running back room, and boy, I have a hard time with this one. I have a lot of options this week that I like. And I think that, you know what, we had him in studio and he said, listen, I didn't have a good game against BC High. And I think Jason O'Keefe is going to be looking for a rebound week here. Big matchup. I couldn't decide which side to pick from, actually. I had BR's running back on my list as well, but I'm going to go with Jason O'Keefe, Marshfield taking on Bridgewater Raynham this week. Trying to ride momentum off a big 4th quarter comeback and see if they can pick up win number 2 on the season. All right, Brendan, close us out.
All right, I'm going to double check here one more time because I know I need a running back here. The question is, has anyone taken Liam Appleton? Well, I've been studying the board from Cohasset.
Taking Liam Appleton.
Nobody's taken Liam Appleton. All right, then we're good.
All right.
Because I think I'm going to go with that because I think Cohasset's going to be running the ball a lot this week. I feel like they have I'm going to say a slight edge over Carver for right now, and they're going to be in the lead. So they'll be trying to burn some clock here, and they'll be relying on him. And Will Baker, of course.
There you go. All right, so we'll read it off. Johnny's room includes Henry Hasselbeck at quarterback, Jacob Colstring and John Dickinson at running back, and then Cameron Dobson and Tyler Sordillo at wide receiver. I have Jacob Briggs at quarterback, Mike Fulton at wide receiver, as well as Anthony Ferrante, and then Isaac Uva and Jason O'Keefe, my 2 running backs. Brendan Cassius Johnson at running back, Nate Caldwell at wide receiver, Jack Belson at quarterback, Austin Bongo at wide receiver, and Liam Appleton at running back. That is your week 4 draft. Again, you can vote to see which team you think has the best chance of winning this week. Johnny, you were the fan favorite in week 1.
Which I would argue means more. I think the fan vote means more than the actual results.
We'll see who you guys like to win this week at SE on WATD. And you can catch a little recap of it next week. So that is your week 4 draft in the book.